the 10 most mysterious beings in the Bible, uncovering divine secrets and hidden mysteries. Throughout history, humanity has marveled at the mysterious and divine beings described in Scripture. These supernatural entities, whether dark or luminous, or inspiring or terrifying, have captivated believers and skeptics alike. From heavenly thrones to celestial creatures, biblical descriptions reveal a spiritual realm brimming with wonder, power, and profound symbolism. Today, we embark on a journey to explore the top 10 most mysterious beings in the Bible, unveiling their biblical origins, significance, and the divine mysteries they conceal. If you're passionate about understanding the celestial worlds depicted in Scripture and desire to deepen your faith, stay with us until the end. Don't forget to subscribe to the DA Past Zero channel. Hit the like button and share this video to illumine other seekers of truth. 1. The 24 Elders of Revelation. Rulers and representatives in heaven. Our journey begins with one of the most intriguing heavenly beings, the 24 elders described in the book of Revelation. These majestic figures occupy a central role in John's apocalyptic visions. Revelation 4:24 depicts a throne surrounded by 24 thrones, on which sit the elders, clothed in white robes and crowned with gold crowns. But who exactly are these beings? Many speculate they are representatives of the redeemed church, symbolic leaders symbolizing the collective body of God's people. Others suggest they are angelic beings tasked with divine governance. However, biblical evidence leans toward the former. They represent the redeemed saints. The Greek term presbyteroi is traditionally used for church leaders, not angels. Their crowns of gold denote victory and sovereignty, aligning with the biblical concept that believers, through Christ, will reign with Him. The elders continuously worship God, casting their crowns before the thrones, signaling humility and reverence, and acknowledging God's ultimate sovereignty. Their presence signifies the victory of God's redeemed people and their co-rulership with Christ in eternity. In sum, these 24 elders symbolize the victorious church, believers who have triumphed through faith and are now part of God's divine royal court. 2. The wheels in Ezekiel's vision. The chariot of divine majesty. Next, let's consider one of the most enigmatic visions in the Bible, Ezekiel's vision of the 4 living creatures and the whirling wheels described in Ezekiel 1. These wheels, often called the wheels within wheels, are among the most mysterious divine symbols. Ezekiel recounts seeing in the sky something resembling a wheel within a wheel, sparkling like topaz, able to move in any direction without turning, a complex mechanism reflecting divine omnipotence. The wheels are filled with ice, symbolizing all-seeing knowledge. What do these wheels represent? Many biblical scholars interpret them as angelic chariots, the throne chariot of God, encompassing His divine sovereignty. These wheels serve as rapid divine transporters, capable of moving swiftly throughout the universe, an awe-inspiring picture of God's omnipresent power. In biblical symbolism, the wheels reveal divine omniscience, omnipresence. Ezekiel himself describes these wheels as full of eyes, representing God's perfect knowledge of every event and creature on earth. In essence, the wheels within Ezekiel's vision are divine symbols of God's mobility, sovereignty, and all-encompassing knowledge. 3. The Behemoth and Leviathan. The great mysteries of the animal world. 2 of the most debated biblical creatures are Behemoth and Leviathan, described in Job 42:41. These majestic beasts symbolize raw divine power and chaos, yet their true identities have puzzled scholars for centuries. The Behemoth. Job describes Behemoth as the chief of God's ways, a colossal animal with strength in its stomach muscles and a tail like a cedar tree. Many believe the Behemoth was a massive land creature, possibly a hippopotamus or an elephant. These animals match biblical descriptors, large, powerful, and present in the regions known during biblical times. The biblical description emphasizes the beast's size and strength, highlighting that only God, the Creator, can tame it. Job 42:15-24 recounts God's challenge to Job. Look at Behemoth, which I made along with you. It underscores human insignificance before divine creation. The Leviathan. In Job 41, Leviathan is depicted as a terrifying sea monster, a creature so fierce that no man can tame it. Biblical imagery portrays it as a coiled, monstrous dragon in the ocean, capable of unleashing chaos. Some interpret Leviathan as a literal giant sea creature, like a crocodile or a large marine animal. Others see it as a mythic symbol of chaos and evil, representing Satan or demonic forces. The phrase, "He who made Leviathan," asserts God's unparalleled sovereignty over even the most terrifying creatures. Lesson both Behemoth and Leviathan symbolize God's supreme power over chaos, nature, and evil, are a reminder of his authority over all creation. 4. The cherubim, the exalted guardians and worshippers. Next, we turn our attention to the cherubim, celestial beings that serve both as guardians and divine worshippers. Mentioned extensively in the Bible, cherubim have mysterious, multifaceted roles. In Genesis 3, cherubim are placed at the entrance of Eden, guarding the tree of life with a flaming sword to prevent mankind's return after the fall. They are depicted as powerful, terrifying beings with wings, faces, and multiple eyes. Their purpose is to protect divine holiness and uphold God's sovereignty. Isaiah's vision describes them as six-winged angels who circle God's throne, crying, "Holy, holy, holy." They serve as agents of purification, cleansing Isaiah's sins with a hot coal. Notably, cherubim are associated with divine throne room imagery, symbolizing the holiness, justice, and presence of God. Their complex appearance, wings covering their faces and feet, is meant to evoke reverence and awe. They are holy beings, not divine themselves, but directly serving God's divine glory. 5. The seraphim, the burning angels in worship. Closely related to cherubim are the seraphim, also described in Isaiah 6. The seraphim are burning ones. Their primary role is worship and adoration. Isaiah describes six-winged angels surrounding God's throne, crying, "Holy, holy, holy," which signifies the utmost reverence for God's sacredness. Their flames symbolize purification, symbolizing that they serve as agents that purifying and sanctify. Seraphim's proximity to God demonstrates their pure, sinless state. Their worship reveals the greatness and endless glory of God's divine holiness. In conclusion, seraphim express the fiery love and reverence for God's holiness, an eternal reminder of divine purity and the divine throne. 6. Demons and unclean spirits. Personal beings with personality. Another set of mysterious beings are demons, personal, disembodied spirits that possess and influence humans and animals. The Bible makes it clear that demons have individual personalities, with desires and will, not just unseen forces. Jesus frequently confronted demons, casting them out of possessed individuals. These spirits recognize Jesus' authority, speak with personal pronouns, and plead to avoid being cast into the abyss. They also have names. For example, Legion, indicating a multitude. Demonic spirits are described as disembodied entities operating in the spiritual realm, causing sickness, possession, and chaos. They possess intelligence, awareness, and will traits of personal beings. Their ultimate goal is to oppose God's purposes and destroy his image in mankind. Important insight. Demons are fallen angels, expelled from heaven, now working in opposition to God's kingdom, often disguising as evil but ultimately under divine authority. 7. The Lucifer, the morning star, the most famous fallen angel. Perhaps the most famous mysterious being in the Bible is Lucifer, also known as the morning star. From Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28. Once a glorious angel among God's closest beings, Lucifer's name means light bringer or bearer of light. His initial role was one of high honor, a chief angel overseeing worship in heaven, a guardian of God's throne, known for wisdom and beauty. Yet, a tragic pride filled his heart, leading him to seek equality with God. Isaiah 14 describes his desire to ascend to heaven and to make himself like the Most High. This pride was his downfall. Lucifer's attempt to elevate himself above God resulted in his expulsion from heaven, transforming him into Satan, the adversary. His heart was lifted up by beauty and pride, making him the ultimate symbol of rebellion. The root cause, the original sin, was pride, the deadliest sin and insidious destroyer of the soul, still relevant today as many fall prey to vanity and arrogance. 8. The fall of Lucifer. Pride as the original sin. Lucifer's downfall is rooted in pride, the desire to be equal or superior to God. Isaiah 14, 12, 15, and Ezekiel 28 vividly depict this tragic departure. Lucifer, dazzling in wisdom and beauty, believed he deserved worship and authority. His ambition led him to challenge divine order. The scriptures reveal a heartbreaking truth. His pride was so strong that it ultimately led to his downfall, and he was cast out of heaven. This event symbolically demonstrates that pride opposes divine authority and leads to destruction. Lesson: pride remains the deadliest sin, leading angels and humans alike astray when they exalt themselves instead of honoring God's sovereignty. 9. The spirit of Satan, the enemy of God and humanity. Post-fall, Satan became the embodiment of evil, a personal adversary relentlessly working against God's plan. His enmity is clear. He seeks to undermine God's authority, destroy his creation, and corrupt humanity. Satan's primary strategy is deception, disguising himself as an angel of light and employing lies and temptation. His goal is to distract humans from the truth of the gospel, weaken their faith, and imitate divine authority. However, Scripture assures us that Satan's power is limited and that ultimately, victory belongs to Christ. His influence is real but temporary, a key reason Christians are called to stand firm in faith and resist his attacks. 10. The final judgment of Satan and demons. Eternal consequences. The culmination of divine justice is reflected in the final judgment. Revelation 20:10 declares that Satan, along with the demons, will be cast into the lake of fire, a place of eternal punishment. This destiny underscores that rebellion against God has irreversible consequences. The demonic beings, once glorious angels, now face eternal separation and torment due to their rebellion. This teaches us a vital truth. All spiritual beings, regardless of their grandeur or power, are subject to God's sovereignty and justice. Their existence reminds us of divine authority and the importance of humility and obedience. Conclusion. Throughout Scripture, the most mysterious beings, the heavenly elders, celestial creatures, demonic spirits, and fallen angels unveil profound truths about God's nature, divine sovereignty, and spiritual realities. These beings serve as both reminders of divine power and warnings of pride and rebellion. From the radiant 24 elders to the fiery seraphim, each of these mysterious entities represents a facet of God's divine plan, either as worshippers, guardians, or opposition to evil. But the ultimate lesson remains clear. God's justice is perfect, and his sovereignty is unmatched. As we seek to understand these divine mysteries, we are called to live with humility, reverence, and faith in God's ultimate authority. If this journey into the most mysterious beings in the Bible has deepened your faith and expanded your understanding of divine realities, subscribe to DA Path Zero, like this video, share with others seeking truth, and let's continue uncovering God's divine secrets together. May God's light illuminate your path.